In this video, I want to talk about Dynasty Warriors, my overall review of it, what I thought about it. I've been playing the game for countless hours, not gonna lie. There was one time I almost played for 24 hours straight, and I wasn't even streaming because it was during the release of the game. We got an early copy of it thanks to Koei Tecmo. Thank you guys so much for the early copy of the game. Also, it was the Ultimate Edition. So I just want to have some notes here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys or anything like that. I do have some notes here that I want to talk about when it comes to this game. So if you guys do enjoy the content, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about the game. If you guys have played it, if you guys haven't played it, let me know, will you guys ever give it a try or anything like that. So going into Dynasty Warriors, again, I want to say Koei Tecmo, thank you guys so much for granting us a free copy of this game and able to produce content. So a lot of people don't know, or a good amount of people don't know what Dynasty Warriors is. Dynasty Warriors is a hack and slash with the objective of pretty much dominating the battlefield. And when I say dominating the battlefield, I mean it's literally 1v1000 or 10,000, depending on how many kills that you can get in the game. And it ranges from like a whole assortment of weapons. You have swords, you have gauntlets or knuckles, I guess you can say. You have spinning discs. Then you have spears, crescent blades, which is basically a giant sword on top of that is attached to a giant staff. We also got staffs in there. And then also we have something called the Halberd. The objective of the game is pretty much you're a wanderer who lost his memory during a conflict, and you're trying to remember what happened to your past. And you can actually determine outcomes from the game. The objective of the game is pretty much becoming the ultimate badass of a warrior that you're meant to be. You start off as a wanderer, a nobody who doesn't remember what they used to be or what they were until later on in the game, or throughout the game actually, where you find bits and pieces of your past and you get to replay them. And it's pretty awesome how you find all this stuff out. You see like ghosts from your past. There's somebody that guides you along the way that helps you discover power that you have, or the gift is what they say, which I think is really cool that they have that going on in the game. All right, so the gameplay loop, it's just a large scale battle. They also have skirmishes on the side, which are still somewhat of a large scale to help you level up your character and your weapons, and also max out your battle arts. But we're gonna go further into that. The upgrading, you have the weapon proficiencies, so it goes all the way up to level 8, and then when you beat the game, it actually goes up even more levels. The only way how you can level up your character is if you level up your weapon proficiencies. You also have the skill tree, learning different battle arts, upgrades to your strength, your defense. Also, when you're using items, it can do more longer or better effects, like eating a meat bun can actually get you to almost full health. And then you have your battle art masteries, which is pretty much you just constantly use that battle art for whatever required amount of times that they need you to do. Becomes mastery. You earn the mastery, which I want to figure out more of with the mastery, because it's just like, congratulations, you mastered it, but like, do you get more damage over it or what? That's something that I really want to like look more into. The combat system is pretty simple. It's a hack and slash. You do a series of combos. You can do the simple, like, you know, just regular swings and go into a combo, or you can do like a mixture of light and heavy attacks that get a really cool combo. Like one for the sword I like is you do a few light attacks and then you do like a spin with a heavy attack, and your character twirls in the air and it brings all these enemies in the air, and you can do like series of attacks, which I think is really cool. So you have a power move. It's called the Musou gauge, or the Musou gauge, and it's cool because if you do a one single slash that can cause a lot of damage to the enemy, but if you max it out without using it at all, you actually earn the God Rage mode, which I think is really cool. You go into this whole state of like invincibility. You can use unlimited battle arts until the meter is completely empty, and then when it hits empty, you unleash this ultimate power move where if you do it correctly, it looks like you nuked the battlefield, because the screen goes gray. You just see everybody in slow motion like just fly away from you, and then you just see the numbers of knockouts just rack up. I think the highest I've ever done was 500 or 600 knockouts in one battle doing that attack, which I thought was really cool. So every time when I'm streaming and playing the game, I'm just like, guys, I'm about to nuke it, and I do that. It's awesome. While in the game for combat, they also have duels. Sometimes it's with the officers where you'll get into a fight. Sometimes it takes a while for the duels to activate because they have to go into a whole dialogue and everything, and then the duels will initiate. And how the duels is, it's almost like if you're playing a fighting game. There's a gauge in the middle and it's red and blue. Blue's your side, red's their side. And you're trying to get your gauge filled all the way to blue, covering the red gauge. And when you do that, you can unleash a finisher, which is like a series of like animations that they do. Each weapon is different. And then also with the grades is completely different as well. Once you knock them out, then the enemy commander's motivation gauge kind of goes down, and also their large forces gauge goes down as well, which I think is really cool. And also it's an automatic defeat as well. As you get further into the game, you will start to learn troop attacks. So you get to build up your own squad in your own troops, which I'm not sure how much you get, but I know so far right now I'm at 35. And once you are doing these skirmishes, that is where you earn them. You get some really cool stuff where you can do volley attacks. You can do intimidation where your guys do a battle cry, and it's like a loud roar, which can actually weaken your the officer that is in the affected area. Also, you can do charge attacks, knocking people back, which is really cool. My favorite one right now is the fire volley, because it's just like a series of fire arrows that are just flying in the air and then knocks out whoever. If you do it correctly, you can actually bring down the motivation for that commander, which is really cool. It's really effective. Now, I'm not entirely sure with the previous Dynasty Warrior games if they've had this before, but what I've seen is that they have camera locks, which is kind of interesting because I mess with both settings. One is like an automatic camera lock. When you are attacking or being attacked, it will lock onto a character or the officer, or you can just have it toggled off, so you can just, toggle it whenever you want to, like switch between the characters. But I want to get into that later on when we do the pros and cons. Pros and cons. This is what I really want to talk about. The cons. I want to stick with the camera. The camera locking, I do enjoy because you have focus and everything. Wow, voice crack. Of the officer that you are in a fight with. But sometimes the camera lock, where if you are being attacked by another officer or an officer gets too close to the one that you are targeting, the camera switches automatically and you are just fighting a brand new officer, which sometimes gets very confusing and it gets very frustrating. Some of the moves as well. Another one is some of the moves are unpredictable. I tried it many times where, especially fighting Lubu, if you guys know what I'm talking about, you guys know. There are times where you think, they're about to do a certain attack because of how they're winding up. They have an anticipation, but then sometimes it changes completely. Or when you're doing a series of attacks and they about to be stunned, they'll immediately go into their own attack, and while you're doing your attack, you can't stop the animation or anything. It's just like you have to let it go, and usually that's when you just receive a whole bunch of damage depending on the difficulty you're playing it. I will say for the factions, even though I haven't played the other two, which were the Sun clan and also with Liu Bei for their clan as well, I haven't done theirs yet as of this recording, but I've done Cao Cao's. I already completed it all. It seems like the story, how that is, it just seems like it could be a lot better. Actually, I want to say a lot better. It can be improved. The reason why I say it can be improved, because I do like the true ending and I do like the other ending for the game. But the thing is, it seemed so abrupt. Once you do the final battles, you get to choose. Spoiler, you get to choose if you want to be a person that lurks in the shadows and helps out everybody and you're just remain free, or you can basically devote your honor, your blade to whoever that you're with. So like for me, it would be with Cao Cao, and you become this great general, which is pretty awesome. But the thing is, once you claim as a general, it's just a series of cutscenes and then the game is over. Like, it would be cool to see you in something like, you're in like their faction's garb. That would be cool. Like have a new armor for it, have it being unlocked. Like you complete it, you become a general for Cao Cao. Now you have like blue armor with like silver chest plating or something. It would be really cool to see, but you don't get any of that. So it seemed like even though you went through the hardships of like, having to fight some of your brothers and people that you have been allies with in the past, you don't really earn anything at the very end, if that makes sense. Most of the content that I've seen while playing this game, it just felt like it was a lot of dialogue. It was weird when it comes to the dialogue, because when there's like a conflict between two parties that are especially about to go to war with each other and have a huge battle, everybody's very nice to each other. It's one of those weird, it's like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're in a fight with somebody and you're like, all right, well, before I go get in this battle, they're like, you must read this letter from the enemy. And they're like, hey, can we meet up? So then you go meet up with them. And then you guys are just having this conversation where it's like, man, I can't believe you didn't join us. That is, That's crazy. But when we meet each other in battle, you know, it'll be an honorable fight. And I just cannot wait to see the day when we fight each other. Somebody that's declared the enemy that betrayed you or killed somebody on your team, right? Like, you're this nice. It's kind of weird. It just seems kind of off, if you know what I mean. So from that, what I mean is, like, I would like to see more like aggressiveness, if that makes sense. Another thing I would like to say is the character creation. I wish there was character creation in the game. The character, the Wanderer that you play as, is awesome. It is cool, like having a person with purple eyes, but the thing is, you don't really know what the purple eyes are for until later on in the game, which is fine for me, because you get to discover more about your character and why they are the way they are, or what powers they have and everything, which is, I think, is still cool. But I wish that you can do a character creation, especially because your character doesn't talk. If you guys don't know what the game is, you get to choose with dialogue, and like, especially when somebody's talking to you and stuff, you get to have a choice of like what you want to say to them, and then, you know, once you select it, then it just, you know, conversation just carries on. Your character never talks, which I thought was very interesting. I was like, okay, character doesn't talk, but what really got me was when you're doing certain battles in the game, your character does talk. They do speak. It is very interesting that your character speaks in a battle or a regular skirmish, but then the dialogue and everything, they don't talk. So I'm wondering like why that is. Also, I would say another thing with the characters, it would be really cool, just saying, that even though you have your companions and stuff, especially when you get Luobu, just saying, it'd be cool to play the whole campaign just using him. Like, you know, have the Wanderer have them as your companion, but then have Luobu as, you know, getting to play him from start to finish. That would be really cool to see. I don't know how that would work out, but I think it would be like if you did like a whole, like, I don't know, companion mode or something like that. So something like future content wise, have like a companion mode where you can just play as whatever companion you want to, and then, yeah, see if there's like any bonuses and you get to learn from their story. That'd be cool. Now, let's go with the good. The pros. First of all, I'm going to say this. The music team, I'm going to say bravo. Like, seriously, like, bravo when it comes to the music. The music is insane. It is crazy hearing the music, especially when you are learning about your character's past, when you go to the village.
Into a world of peace, where we can all soar free.
They always have like certain songs that just hit. I mean, it can hit every emotional like fiber or whatever in your brain. Like, literally, when I was listening to some of the songs that they have, I literally have a flashback of me playing Dynasty Warriors 1 on the PlayStation 1 as a kid. Like, I can really see myself, like, clear picture of it. It was the craziest thing ever. So in one of the, like, the videos you guys will see, I'm just like, don't you cry, don't you cry, don't you cry. It is just insane to see. I love the nostalgia feeling. It is great seeing it. It's great having the feeling as well. There wasn't mass changes to the game. The game still felt like if I'm playing Dynasty Warriors, it feels like Dynasty Warriors. I'm playing the series. It just felt really good. The animations and stuff were really good as well. The amount of carnage and damage that you could do, really good. It's not a con, it's not a pro, but it'd be something that I would like to see in the future if they are going to add more content to this. If they added more weapons, and one of the weapons that they add is nunchucks. Nunchucks would be pretty badass to do. I would like to see some of the battle arts for them, and I would like to see like the different movesets that they have. It would be really cool to see something like that. I believe in like older Dynasty Warrior games, I think they had it, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I played those. Next is the weapon grades. I didn't know this, but the weapon grades freaking amazing. So going from like weapon grade 1 to like 1 to 3, 1 to 4 or 5, it's pretty cool. You know, it's like the same move sets, especially the finishers are pretty cool. But then when you get to like grade, I think it was like 5 and going up, the finishers actually change, which I thought was really cool. Also, it was cool to see like the different appearances of what the weapons look like too, especially when you go up into higher grades. Once you get like the Luon set, which is only awarded to you if you complete the Ultimate Warrior Challenge for like certain missions, those look really cool. Plus, they're super strong too. So I wonder if we're going to be able to, in the future, have a higher tier or able to upgrade those. Because right now, I think it's like 624 is the base damage, and that's like the highest that you can go. I'm dressed the elephant in the room. Luobu, or Louisbu. Dude is a badass. Dude is a, like, he's a demon. Like, the dude has a hellbird, just wiping out armies like it's nothing. Just one swing and knocking out armies. And it's cool to see, like, especially in a lot of the cutscenes and also when he's in battle, it's cool that you get to fight him as well. It's optional, but most of the time you're gonna get gonna get smacked pretty hard. But it's awesome to see him because people in the past were actually telling me like you played as him before in previous Dynasty Warrior games. So seeing him as a villain is really cool to see. But the thing is, they make him as a mini boss, which is, I know it's kind of weird. It's a pro and a con. So the con side, I'm gonna say, is that I wish that he was the true boss at the end because of how difficult he is. Have him as the true boss at the very end. Now on the pro side, the man does insane damage. If you beat one of the challenges that has him in it, where you have to defeat him, you get to unlock him as a companion and get to see his moveset, and his movesets are awesome. Also, it's cool to see at the very end of the game that you can actually buy his Hellbird, which I believe is 400,000 like gold or coins. It's cool to see that. But then on top of that is when you do a series of challenges, where one of them I believe I'm going to upload later on is when you face Lubu on Ultimate Warrior Challenge, like 1v1, you get the red hair, which is his horse, and his horse looks freaking awesome. If you guys don't know, it looks pretty badass. Now the thing is, I wish that you can get his battle art where he's on the horse and he jumps in the air, and then when he lands on the ground, it like creates a shockwave. I wish they had that. Maybe they do, but I haven't seen it. Another thing I want to say is the character designs. The character designs were amazing. You had people of all different sizes. You had males and females. The figure of these characters actually look the way they look. You have big masculine dudes. You have slim guys. You have women that look feminine. I'm just saying it now. Like, I know the reason why I'm saying this is because there's been a whole outrage and controversy of what's been going on previously in video games where pretty much a woman looks like a dude, like just the character model and the size of them looks like it's a dude with a wig and breasts. It's kind of weird, right? But this one, it seems like the artists appreciate the body of a woman and also of a male as well. So it's cool to see like there's actually a difference. You know, you're not like kind of like tilting your head and like, I'm not entirely sure, right? All right, choosing the factions is another one. Choosing the factions, I think, is awesome. First of all, I will say when it comes to video games in general, player choice, I think, is like one of the #1 things to have, or one of the top things to have when it comes to playing a video game. If you do not have player choice, the game will feel very boring because it's like telling you what to do on every single thing. So adding to multiple player choices and also the different factions and having different choices in the factions, it's cool to see that there's also 2 different endings. You have just like your regular ending, but then you have the true ending. And the way to earn the true ending, which I think I'm probably going to do a video on, is that you have to do a series of tasks to avert somebody's fate. What happens in the game is that somebody or a few people in the different clans are supposed to die. But if you prevent it, which is kind of like Final Destination, if you prevent their fate, then it changes the whole outcome of the story, which you will earn the true ending, which is awesome. The last thing I will say for the pro is the content afterwards, because a lot of people think after when you're done playing the game, which for me is I spent 55 plus hours at least finishing the Woo side, which is Cao. After that, it's pretty cool to see because then you can go back and play the whole story if you want to. Play it over again with saved items, weapons, stats, and everything like that. But also, they have added more content where your weapon level, when I said it was level 8, it goes up to level 11, which you can become even more strong. And also, your rank goes up from 64, where it was capped at, to 101. And you unlock a whole new skill tree, which is called the True Warrior. Adding to the content as well, additional content, they added the Ultimate Warrior difficulty, which is the 4th. It's the 4th difficulty, which is like a bonus difficulty. The cool thing about Ultimate Warrior difficulty is if you do battles, you can see that there is a difficulty, and if you complete that difficulty along with the mission itself, you will earn certain rewards like weapons, battle arts, more guards. You get 10 old coins, which you can use to purchase really cool things from like the shopkeep, which I think is really cool. And also unlock different horses that I didn't know for a while that had different stats, which I think is really cool. So overall, what do I think of the game? I love it. I still play it even when I'm not streaming or if I'm not recording or anything like that. I am still playing the game. Usually I'm like at my computer or I'm laying down and I got it on my projector and I'm just like playing the heck out of the game because literally I'm just bored. But overall, the nostalgia is there. I love it. It's amazing. It gives me flashbacks of when I was a kid playing this game. So where does this leave grading wise? I don't usually do grades. I don't usually say like, oh, it's a this, it's a that. But if I have to choose, if I had to choose, the grade would be a 7.5 out of 10. Now, the reason why I would say is I just wish there's, hopefully in the future, if they do an update to it, they add more content to it. The abrupt ending for the factions, once you choose like to be a person that want to be in the shadows and be free, or be a general, I wish there was like a little bit more content after that where, you know, you play as a general or you get the garb like I said earlier in the video, things like that. And the last thing I would say is for $70, I would say like there could have been a little more. There could have been a little more. And when I say a little more, I just mean a little more content. Also, yeah, if they ever hear me out and they see this video, I hope that they do make more content, because I will be down to play it. Keep putting those skill levels up or add more weapons to it, because it has a great system where if you keep adding more levels or more weapons, which means more weapon proficiency, which also means more levels, you can also do, you know, more skill trees and things like that, which would be really, really, really cool. So pretty much that is what I have for the video. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Koei Tecmo, I just want to say this as well. You guys have been killing it so far for 2025. I want to say that now. You guys have Dynasty Warriors that came out. Then you guys have Ninja Gaiden 4 that is going to be coming out. And while you guys announced Ninja Gaiden 4, you guys said, hey, while you guys are waiting, we're going to release Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which also I have another, I actually got a copy from them again. So thank you again. And I will be making a video on that one. That one I might be doing a playthrough, or I just might just do one video. We'll see. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Koei Tecmo, because right now they are killing it. They are killing it. All right, for real this time. I'll see you guys later, because my computer might blow up. All right, see you guys later. Peace.